A dense jungle canopy stretches endlessly as morning fog drifts over ancient stone pyramids hidden beneath thick green vines. Broken temples rise through the forest floor, silent and abandoned, as if an entire world vanished overnight. Carved stone staircases lead to empty ceremonial platforms where no voices remain. Something powerful once lived here, and then it disappeared. Welcome to the Chronicle Vault, where real stories feel impossible and some mysteries refuse to die. Tonight, we uncover a civilization that built cities in the heart of the jungle and then vanished without a trace. In southern Mexico and Central America, massive limestone cities emerge from the rainforest. Towering pyramids stand in places like Tikal, Palenque, and Copan, surrounded by dense vegetation. They were advanced urban centers filled with plazas, observatories, and intricate road systems. Stone temples rise above the treetops as carved glyphs cover their walls in precise patterns. Each symbol records kings, wars, and celestial events with astonishing detail. At their peak around 700 AD, millions of people lived across hundreds of interconnected cities. Farmers, warriors, priests, and rulers formed one of the most sophisticated societies in the ancient world. Inside a grand pyramid, a ruler sits beneath painted murals as incense smoke fills the air. Priests perform rituals aligned with solar cycles and planetary movements. Astronomers observe the night sky from elevated platforms, tracking eclipses and calculating calendars. But something begins to change. In the late 8th century, construction slows across major cities. Stone monuments become fewer, and inscriptions suddenly stop being carved. A wide plaza, once filled with crowds, now stands empty under the burning sun. Researchers examining ancient pollen samples from lake beds discover a sharp decline in vegetation. Layers of sediment reveal prolonged drought conditions lasting decades. Cracked earth spreads across farmland as crops begin to fail under relentless heat. Reservoirs dry up, leaving entire communities without water. Without rain, the agricultural system collapses. Maize fields wither, and food shortages begin to spread across the region. Rival city-states begin to compete over limited resources. Stone carvings show increased warfare, depicting captured prisoners and violent conflicts. Battles intensify as alliances break and chaos spreads. Archaeologists uncover fortified walls built hastily around once open cities, but drought and war may not tell the full story. Deep within underground caves, researchers find evidence of ritual sacrifices. Human remains are discovered in sacred cenotes filled with dark water. These offerings suggest desperation, a final attempt to appease gods believed to control rain and survival. Yet the skies remain empty. Satellite imaging reveals hidden causeways connecting distant cities across the jungle. These white roads once carried trade, communication, and movement between regions. Now they lead nowhere. By the early 10th century, major southern cities are almost completely abandoned. Nature begins to reclaim stone structures as roots crack through ancient walls. What was once a thriving civilization disappears into the forest. Centuries later, explorers cut through thick jungle with machetes. They stumble upon towering ruins covered in moss and vines. The scale is shocking. Entire cities hidden for generations, untouched and forgotten. Historians debate the cause of the collapse even today. Climate change, internal conflict, political instability, and resource depletion all played a role. But no single explanation fully answers the question, because the Maya did not vanish overnight. They slowly faded, leaving behind empty cities and unanswered mysteries. And yet, millions of descendants still live across the region today, carrying fragments of a culture that once built wonders in the jungle. The ruins remain as silent witnesses, stone structures standing beneath a green canopy, holding secrets no one fully understands. Because sometimes, civilizations do not fall with a single event. They collapse in silence, piece by piece, until nothing is left but echoes. Aerial sunlight breaks through thick jungle clouds as hidden stone terraces stretch across entire hillsides. Layers of carved farmland reveal how the land itself was reshaped to sustain massive populations. But without constant maintenance, these terraces begin to collapse under heavy seasonal rains. A muddy river cuts through the jungle, carrying eroded earth away from abandoned fields. What once fed thousands slowly turns into lifeless ground. In a dimly lit workshop, a craftsman shapes jade into intricate ornaments under flickering firelight. But as instability spreads, these networks begin to fracture. Marketplaces fall silent as traders stop arriving from distant cities. Colorful goods disappear, replaced by emptiness and uncertainty. Inside a royal palace, faded murals begin to peel from cracked walls. No one remains to preserve them. In a jungle clearing, a massive stone ball court stands empty beneath the open sky. Echoes of ancient games and rituals are replaced by wind and distant animal calls. The structures remain, but their purpose is gone. Inscriptions carved into tall stone monuments suddenly stop mid-chronicle. Dates, names, and victories vanish from history without explanation. It is as if the record itself was abandoned. In a distant settlement, families gather belongings under dim torchlight. Simple tools, woven fabrics, and food supplies are packed in silence. No ceremony, no announcement, just departure. Footsteps fade along narrow jungle paths leading away from once great cities. Behind them, stone structures stand still, waiting for people who will never return. Generations pass as trees grow taller, roots breaking through floors and walls. Entire pyramids disappear beneath layers of vegetation and time. What remains is not destruction, but erasure. Because sometimes the end does not arrive with noise, it arrives quietly, until nothing is left to remember what once existed. But the Maya are not the only story where reality itself seemed to fracture. In a dim medieval castle, a nobleman sits beside a window, staring at his own reflection in polished glass. His hands tremble as he avoids touching anything around him. He believes his body is made entirely of fragile glass. One wrong move, and he will shatter into pieces. Servants move carefully around him, afraid to come too close. Even the slightest contact could trigger his imagined destruction. This was King Charles VI of France, a ruler who feared his own existence could break at any moment, like the vanished cities hidden beneath the jungle. His mind constructed a reality no one else could see, a fragile world held together by belief alone. Because history is not only shaped by what we can prove, but also by what people were convinced was real. If you want to uncover more real stories hidden behind lost civilizations and impossible mysteries, stay with us.